All right. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you're here in person and online. We are going to start standing today, mixing it up a little bit. Don't want you to get bored. Feet hips width distance, spine nice and tall, little baby bends in your knees so they're not locked. Feet spread wide like you're trying to fit into shoes that are too big for you. Yeah, exactly. Clown shoes. Imagine that your tailbone is a little bit heavy, right? Not really pulled down, right? But just if your pelvis is a bowl, you don't want the bowl spilling behind you or forward, right? Imagine there's a little string attached to the top of your head, gently pulling you up towards the sky, and your whole body can hang from that string. So your shoulders can be relaxed, your facial muscles can be relaxed, but your belly is engaged at like 50%, right? Enough to support your low back. And then really bring yourself to your breath. Find your breath. Feeling your whole body expand on the inhale and then contract back to where it started on the exhale. Breathing in and out through the nose, using the full range of your lungs, smooth and deep and controlled. And we're going to kind of split our body into today about at the belly button. So on every inhale from the belly button up, you feel yourself get a little bit lighter. On every exhale from the belly button down, you feel yourself get a little bit heavier. So the inhale pulls the upper body a little more towards the sky. And the exhale grounds the lower body a bit more into the earth. So you can feel your body get longer, right, on each breath. And make a little more space in your belly, a little more space in your spine for all of your organs to do their jobs, right? Go ahead and bring a little bit of movement to the body, starting with the head. Let the head fall front to back and side to side. Bringing some space gently and safely into your neck. You turn the head side to side if that feels nice. It might feel good to open and shut the jaw a few times, maybe even move the bottom of your jaw side to side. Give your shoulders a little bit of movement, maybe a few circles, both directions. Sometimes the shoulders like to move together, sometimes a little more separate. It's up to you. Whatever loosens them up a little bit today. Stretch the arms, the hands, the fingers. Maybe get some good cracks out of the wrists. And then working with a bit of arm movement today. So hands will be in front of the thighs. On the inhale, the hands come forward and up. Make a thumbs up. On the exhale, draw an arc around you. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, exhale. Follow your breath and really try to match the movement with the breath. So when your lungs are halfway full, your arms are halfway to the top. When your lungs are halfway empty, your arc is halfway down. Syncing movement to breath like this is a really nice way to get your mind out of a rut, right? A nice break in the middle of a big project. Now we're going to twist each way. So same inhale here. On the exhale, arms come out and we twist to the left. Turn forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, open the arms, twist to the left. A couple more times. So we want to keep our hips generally pretty straight here. So we're twisting from our belly. And then let's move that twist to the right. So inhale, exhale. Again, hips mostly pointing forward. We're not looking for perfection here, but in general, trying to get some compression in the belly to help our digestive systems and to get into that thoracic spine in the center of our back. Perfect. Inhale up, interlace the fingers, release the index finger, exhale, lean to the left. Release the arms, come up to vertical. Inhale, interlace the fingers, release the index finger, exhale, lean right. Release and lower, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Release, inhale up, and exhale, fold. You might rest your elbows on your knees today. You can bend your knees even more than they're bent now. Maybe you have your hands on blocks or even a chair or a couch if you're at home. Maybe your hands are all the way to the floor. Whatever feels great in your body today. Send your breath to your low back, feeling your low back rise and fall. With the inhale and exhale, bringing some space there. That's a part of our bodies that can feel real compressed. And then let's add a little bit of movement side to side here. Again, you can still have your elbows on your knees if you like, even hands on knees, right? It could be something like this. Or you could have your hands on the floor and sway the hands side to side. We'll bring our hands to the floor, bend the knees, and come down to a tabletop. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips, fingers spread nice and wide. Those wide fingers, big hands help support the wrists when we're putting weight on them. So we'll start moving through a few cow cats here. On the inhale, belly drops towards the mat, hips and head float to the sky. Exhale, reverse, back of the heart floats, hips and head hang heavy. Back and forth with your breath, your pace. And close your eyes if that's comfortable for you and really let yourself get a little lost in the movement. Really coming back to bringing your attention to the breath. And even when you start to pay attention to things outside of yourself, can you keep at least 50% of your attention in the breath? Back to neutral. We're going to take that right leg straight back and the left arm forward. If this is a lot for you, you can have the right toes on the floor. If this is a lot on your wrist, you can always have your hands in a fist instead, so the wrist is straight. Sometimes that can feel a little nicer on the wrists. So right leg back, left arm forward, right foot flexed, like you're going to shoot a laser beam out of your heel. And then we're going to take that arm and that leg a little bit to their respective sides. Belly pulled in, supporting the low back. Continue to breathe. Again, you can have this back foot down if you like. Bring the leg and arm forward and back. Again, set the right knee on the floor. Inhale, open the left arm to the sky. Give that left wrist a few circles. And on the exhale, we're going to thread the needle here, taking the left shoulder and the left side of the face to the mat. If taking it all the way to the mat is uncomfortable, you could also come down to your forearm here and then look to the right. Just letting everything be heavy. Come back up to a neutral tabletop. Bring your big toes together, your knees a little bit wider, and let's sit back into a child's pose, reaching forward with the arms. You could have your forehead on the mat. You could be up a bit more on your forearms, if that's more comfortable. Some of you might have your chest and chin on the mat. Again, breathing into the low back here. Perfect. Walk your hands to the left, and keeping that right hip pulled back. So bringing some space into that right side body. And then walk the arms over to the right, bringing space into that left side body. Back to center, come up to tabletop. This time that left leg comes back and the right arm forward. Again, whatever variation makes sense to you today, that ball of the back foot could be on the floor. You could be on that left fist instead of a flat hand for your wrists. Nice and long. Fingers and feet engaged. And then let's take each one of those limbs a little bit out to the side. Hold the pose and breathe in and out through the nose. Full range of the lungs. Take the leg and the arm front to back. Take the left knee to the floor. Inhale the right arm to the sky. Give your right wrists a few circles. And when you're ready, we'll thread the needle over here. Again, you can be on the forearm and just turn the head to the right, or you can bring the right shoulder and the right side of the face to the mat. Either one is right. Just letting everything be heavy here, getting out of the way of gravity. On back to your tabletop and bring your torso up. So we're in a kneeling mountain. Knees, hips width distance, tall spine, relaxed shoulders. And we'll bring that right leg forward into a low lunge. Sink the hips forward. We're bringing space to the front of that left hip. Now we're going to bring back those arm movements from earlier, but just one breath each. Okay, so as the hips are forward, arms will be in front. Inhale, forward and up. Thumbs up, exhale into your arc. Inhale up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale up. Interlace the fingers, exhale, lean right. Let's hold here. Keeping that left knee real heavy into the mat. So this lean helps us get a little bit deeper into these stabilizer muscles and these hip flexors. Inhale, vertical, and exhale, straighten the front leg, coming into a half split. Now you could have your hands on top of that right thigh if you like. Maybe your fingertips are to the mat. If you're at home and have props, you could also be on blocks or water bottles or whatever you have nearby. I feel like in my case, if you're practicing at home, I usually have a cat on either side of me. So you could probably rest your hands on those too. On the next inhale, the hips come forward, arms come up, just a little back bend here. Exhale, frame the front foot with the hands, tuck the back toes, step back to plank. We'll lower all the way down to the mat. Bring the elbows under the shoulders, flip the feet, push the feet into the mat, pull the upper body forward and up for Sphinx. Actively pulling forward. So we're bringing some space into the low belly is most likely where you'd feel it. Let's turn the head a little side to side here. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, lower down. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Tuck your toes. Push yourself back to tabletop. And then let's raise the hips for a downward dog. Nice long line from the fingertips to the tailbone. A little pull from the chest to the fronts of the ankles. So a little lengthening, a little cow movement from the cow cats, right? Doesn't matter if your legs are bent or straight. It doesn't matter if your heels touch the floor. Just want you to have a long spine. Let's bring the knees to the mat. Come on up to a kneeling mountain. Let's interlace the hands behind the back, straighten the arms, open the heart and throat forward. Taking some extra room for your lungs. Line up to neutral. We'll bring that left leg forward into a low lunge. Sink the hips forward. So we're bringing some space to the right hip flexor. Arms hanging down. Here we go. Inhale. Make your thumb arch on the exhale. Inhale forward and up. Exhale, twist left. Inhale. Interlace the fingers, release the index finger. Exhale, lean left. Keeping that right knee heavy on the mat. If you're feeling a little wobbly, you can really push the tops of those right toes into the mat too. That should make you a little more sturdy. Keeping the sink forward with the hips. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, straighten the front leg, your half split. Again, hands can be on the thigh. They could be on the floor, wherever you like. Don't be afraid to put a little baby bend in your left knee here. There's no rule saying it has to be perfectly straight. I'm just looking to bring space to your back body. As long as you're consciously and safely creating space, you're doing it right. It doesn't matter what your exact shape is, right? Use the pose to get into your body, not your body to get into the pose. Next inhale, the hips come forward, arms come up, little back bend here. Exhale, frame the front foot with the hands. Tuck the back toes, step back to plank. We're going all the way to the floor again. You can bring the knees down first if you like, or all together. Leave your hands where they are this time. Flip the feet. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, lift into a low cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Maybe the same height, maybe a little bit higher. Exhale, lower. So back and forth with your breath. Staying nice and long. So as you lift, the forehead also pulls forward. So it's not just up. So we're looking to not compress the low back too much. If your low back is uncomfortable, make sure you don't come up as far next time. And then we're using half back muscles and half arm muscles. So we're not just doing push-ups with the arms here, right? We're also strengthening our backs. The core goes all the way around, right? It's not just the front. Next, exhale, lower down, tuck the toes, push yourself back to tabletop, and then a downward dog again. This time in your downward dog, maybe we find a little bit of movement. You can bend one knee at a time, maybe look under the opposite arm. You can shake and nod the head. You can come up to the tiptoes and lower the heels a little closer to the mat. Whatever feels great. And then from here, we're going to walk back to our feet and come back into a forward fold. Again, hands on the floor. You could have elbows on the knees. You could have hands on the knees. Heavy head, letting gravity lengthen out your neck. You could turn it a little side to side here if you like. I'm going to slowly roll up to standing. Big step forward with your right leg, high lunge. So all 10 toes facing forward, that back heel is off the mat. Pay attention to where the front knee is pointing. You want it forward. Sometimes if the muscles on one side of our thigh or glutes are a little weaker than the other, that knee can cave in or out. So it's real good for your stability and strength to make sure they're even and that knee is forward. Okay, here we go. Inhale. Thumbs up. Exhale. It's a little harder now. Inhale. Exhale, twist right. Inhale. Interlace the fingers. Exhale, lean right. Now you probably won't go as far as we were when we were in that low lunge, and that's okay. You want to imagine that left hip staying heavy. The left hip stays pulled down, right? So it keeps us upright here. But if you lose a little bit of your balance and have to find your center again, that's good. That's what we're going for, right? Yeah, good job. See, that's just what I said. So it's what we're going for. You can't practice coming back to your center if you're always in it, right? You got to go off center a little bit and then find it again. Come back to neutral. And let's take a step forward to the tops of our mats. Walk it out a little bit here. You can shake out the arms a little. All that fun side too. So now we're going to take a step back with our right foot. So left leg is forward in our high lunge. Without looking, check in on that front knee. So you want the weight on the outside of the foot and the inside of the foot to be the same. And that means that your knee should be forward. Okay? So everyone feels set up for success. We add the arms. Inhale. Thumbs up. Exhale. Draw your arch. Inhale. Exhale, twist left. You might not go as far as you were in the lunge. No big deal. Inhale. Interlace the fingers. Release the index finger. Exhale, lean left. Again, it might not be very far. That's okay. Right hip is heavy. It's going to want to pull up. You want to keep it heavy, so we're bringing space into the side body here. Come up to center. Take a step forward. Walk it out. Oof. Are you really ready to have fun? We're going to have extra fun now. Okay, here we go. Don't be mad at me. You don't have to go very far on the lean overs, okay? We're just practicing coming back to center, finding our breath, right? So mountain pose. Take a few breaths like we did at the beginning of class. So on the exhale, belly button down gets heavier. Inhale, belly button up gets lighter. Little baby bends in the knees. Feet spread out into clown shoes. Okay, a little more balance here. So we're going to work with tree. So you're going to ground your left foot and your right will come up into tree. Now, if you normally have, a tree pose up here, you might consider going down a level because we're going to be adding some arms, okay? So I'm going to demo from a kickstand tree. So the ball of my foot is on the floor, but my heel is on the inside of the left ankle. And then if you want to work on balance, right, you can always pop the ball of this foot up, but you can always pop it down when you need it, right? That's what we're looking for. If you're at home, or even here too, if you're working on balance, or maybe you're recovering from like a left ankle injury, you could be back up against a wall here and then working on it, okay? Here we go. Inhale. Exhale, draw your arch. It's going to get harder. Inhale. Exhale, twist right. Okay. Inhale. Interlace the fingers, release the index finger. Exhale, lean right. So that left foot stays heavy. The left hip stays heavy, right? It's going to want to come up. You want to keep it level. Elbow pulls up and then over. Again, you can play bringing the ball of that foot up, or maybe your leg. Your foot is more up on the leg. You choose. Great job. Back up to neutral. Walk it out. Great job. Okay. Other side. Ground your right foot. Big toe, little toe, both sides of the heels, all even on the mat. Left foot comes up into a tree, maybe a kickstand tree today. It's a great place to be. If you want to go higher, you're welcome to. I just don't want that foot pushing on the knee. You can be above the knee, you can be below the knee, you can be a kickstand. Always are right. Just try to get this knee out to the side so it's not forward, right? Little baby bend in the standing leg. Give you a little more stability. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, twist left. So keeping those hips pointed forward. Yeah, great job. Inhale, hardest part. Interlace the fingers. Exhale, lean left. Heavy right hip. So we're not taking that hip up. We're not jutting it up, right? Even. It's okay if you get a little off balance. That's the practice, is finding your center again. It's like finding your breath again when you're mad at something, right? Release, walk it out. Great job. Shake up hands a little bit. So make our way to a seat. Getting into the inside of the legs a little bit. So we'll bring the soles of the feet together and the knees out to the side, or Baddha Konasana. Sometimes called the cobbler's pose, right? That you could work on your own shoes here. Give the bottoms of your feet a little bit of love. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward, leading with your heart. We're not looking to push, oh, I should say, you have a couple levers of you can pull for intensity in this pose. So if you want a little less intensity, the feet can be further away from your pelvis. If you want more intensity, they can be closer, right? And then of course you decide how heavy your knees are. But you do want them to be heavy and not pushed down. So we want to allow the body to open, not force it to open, right? Big, deep, controlled breaths in and out through the nose. Push the hands down and bring yourself vertical. Take the hands to the outside of the knees and close them like a book. And make sure that your hips are in the center of your mat lengthwise. We're going to come into a boat and hold it for a little bit today. So hands under the thighs here. And then the weight is going to head back. Some of you might have your heels still on the mat. That's a great place to be. You want to keep the spine nice and long here, right? So we don't look like this. We're here. Some of you might have the feet popped up off the ground. Some of you might release the arms. Some of you might straighten the legs. All ways are right. What's important is the spine is long and your low back feels safe. Hold and breathe. Nice time to check in with your jaw. Make sure you're not holding a bunch of tension there. Sometimes it likes to come to parties it's not invited to. And then from here, we're going to lower to our backs, but real controlled. Woo! Point the toes, bring the arms overhead, take a few big breaths into your belly, thanking it for all of its work right there. And all of its work it does for you in general. Bring the soles of the feet on the floor, a little bit wider than hips width distance. Treat yourself to some windshield wipers, lowering the knees to the left and right, whatever pace feels great. Getting into those hips a little bit more. We're going into a reclined pigeon. So bring the knees back up to center. We're going to bring the outside of the right ankle on top of the left knee, and then let the right knee be heavy. Looking for a little stretch, a safe stretch in that right hip. Some of you will stay right here. That's a great place to be. If you want a little bit more, you can bring from the waist down, bring everything in towards the chest. You could interlace the fingers behind the left thigh. You could interlace the fingers in front of the left shin. I'm just not looking for a big shoulder stretch here. So if your shoulders really have to reach to get the fingers in front of the shin, it's not worth it. It's no big deal. Just go behind the thigh. If your right knee would like a little extra support, you can flex that right foot, bringing the toes towards the knee. And if you would like a little extra stretch here, put an arch in your low back. So tilt the pelvis a little bit away from you. Breathe in and out through the nose, full range of your lungs. Should feel really nice after doing some of that balancing work. Fantastic. Release both feet towards the sky. They could be straight towards the sky. They could be more in front of you. And just give your ankles a few circles, spread your toes. Your feet don't get a lot of attention. Bring the feet back to the floor, a little wider than hips width distance, more windshield wipers. Again, whatever pace feels great. Going into that reclined pigeon on the other side. So knees up outside of left ankle on the right knee. Left knee is heavy. Option to flex the left foot to help support the knee. Stay here or bring everything in towards the chest, interlacing the finger behind the thigh or in front of the shin. And if you want a little extra, you just add a tiny, tiny arch to the low back. And it's okay if this side's different than the other, totally normal. Sending your breath and attention into that left hip. I know your lungs don't go down that far, just use your imagination. Just imagine softening some of those muscles around the hip. And those muscles around the hip hold tension. It can not be kind to our low backs. One more breath here. Release that right foot to the mat, uncross the legs, more windshield wipers. Bring your arms out to the side, and next time your knees are to the left, we'll hang out there. Turn the face to the right and just let everything be heavy. If you have another variation that you'd like to put your legs into, you go right ahead. Some of you might want to stack the legs to the left. With care, switch sides. You can do a few windshield wipers in the middle if you like. Otherwise, knees right, face left. Big breaths. Come back to center, face towards the ceiling, knees still up with the feet flat on the floor, coming into a bridge for a few breaths. So on the next inhale, the hips will come up as the knees pull away from you. We'll tuck the shoulder blades a little bit under. You could lift one heel at a time here, back and forth a few times if you like. Slowly release the hips to the mat, untuck the shoulder blades, and then back stretch of your choice. So you could bring your knees in to the chest, or you could bring the soles of the feet towards the ceiling for a happy baby, whatever you prefer. I really like to move a little side to side in both of these poses. You could do that if it feels nice. Do a little inventory of your body. If there's another pose or movement that you would like to help your body relax in Shavasana, go right ahead. Otherwise, when you're ready, we'll make our way into our resting pose. Feet hips width distance, toes hang out to the side. Shoulders plugged into their homes here. Palms up towards the sky. Soft face, big breaths. Joy Harjo is an Indigenous author. She was our poet laureate, I think in 2017. I don't want to say the exact year, but not too long ago. Also, an acclaimed jazz saxophonist. That's fun. This is called Directions to You. Follow them. Stop, turn around, go the other way, left, right, mine, yours. We become lost, unsteady. Take a deep breath, pray. You will not always be lost. You are right here in your time, in your place. Number 1, north. Star, guidance as we look up to the brightest white, hoping it leads you where you want to go, hoping that it knows where you should be. We find peace here in the white. Gather our strength, our breath, and learn how to be. Number 2, east. The sun rises red, morning heat on our face, even on the coldest morning. The sun creates life, energy, nourishment. Gather strength, pull it in, be right where you are. Number 3, south. Butterfly flit spreads yellow beauty. We have come to this moment in time, step by step. We don't always listen to directions. We let the current carry us, push us, force us along the path. We stumble, get up, and keep moving. Number 4, west. Sun sets, brings darkness, brings black. We find solitude. Take time to breathe and pray. Even in darkness, you can be found. Call out, even in a whisper or whimper. You will be heard. To find, to be found, to be understood, to be seen, heard, felt. You are breath. You are memory. You are touch. You are right here. Begin to bring movement and deepened breath back into your body and find your way to a comfortable seat, whatever way you'd like to get there. Hands at heart center. Thank you so much for joining me today to share your practice and your energy with me and with each other. He starts within. That means the whole world benefits a bit because you took the time for yoga today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much. We will see you next time.